Tonight on the South Today, National leader Christopher Luxon wants to power up the economy as he begins a tour in Central Otago. A small Southland rural town looks to power up the region as plans for a huge wind farm progress. And the end of an era, Invercargill's last standing DVD rental store prepares to roll the final credits. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Dave Gooselink. National leader Christopher Luxon has told a Queenstown audience they have a clear choice at this year's election. He says voters must decide between the coalition of chaos or a national-led government he claims will fix the economy, lower the cost of living and restore law and order.
National leader Christopher Luxon meeting Queenstown residents in the first stop of the party's latest campaign, dubbed Get New Zealand Back on Track. Luxon addressed around 150 people in Queenstown alongside Southland MP Joseph Mooney. He was keen to outline National's new policies and goals to the audience, focused on turning the country's economy around.
Well, look, we've got to be able to do both, haven't we? And we've got to be able to build more houses in this country. It's one of our biggest problems that we have, is that we haven't been able to unlock sufficient land. We haven't been able to densify over transport hubs. We've really got to build more houses. That's the bottom line.
Luxon told those in the resort town he wants to power up tourism, with the sector generating a large amount of money and growth for both the region and the country as well. The National leader also took questions from the audience. When asked how his party would relieve pressures on housing and staffing shortages, he believed both could be solved by building more houses.
I mean, the issues are the same issues that I see up and down the country. How do you fix the economy so that we lower the cost of living crisis? That's a major issue for people, as you well know, here in Queenstown, particularly with respect to housing costs. We need to make sure that we restore law and order and that we have personal responsibility in place.
Luxon and his entourage then travelled on to Arrowtown, visiting local ice cream shop Patagonia Chocolates, where he met an enthusiastic young businessman, Flynn Laker. The pair chatted about Laker's online store, Flynn Socks, over some ice cream. Luxon's road trip continues in Queenstown with a business breakfast before continuing on to Alexandra. In Central Otago, the South Today.
Well, Otago regional councillors are defending their decision to increase rates, making it a third straight year of significant rates increases. Councillors adopted the ORC's annual plan at Thursday's council meeting, approving an 18% increase in rates. The ORC plans to spend $114 million in the next financial year, taking almost $56 million in general and targeted rates. Councillors argued another large rates increase is necessary to fund essential services and address infrastructure needs in the city. But some community groups believe a third big hike in 3 years is excessive and could disproportionately affect low-income households. Councillor Michael Laws was the only councillor to vote against adopting the annual plan. Contact Energy's plans to construct a new wind farm in rural Southland is officially underway, and it could be New Zealand's biggest.
The potential to generate enough electricity to power the south. Contact Energy is pushing ahead with plans to build a huge wind farm near Wyndham. This information session giving residents more background on the Southland wind farm project. Around 5,500 hectares of land at the Mimihau site would be used for the new wind farm, with the company planning to construct up to 50 turbines on the hills east of the township. Roaring Forties wind power consultants are involved with the project's planning and believe wind turbines are efficient power generators.
The wind drives the rotor, drives the turbine inside, creates electricity, and then we collect that electricity into a substation in the centre of the wind farm and then export that to the grid.
The development could produce around 300 megawatts of energy, enough to power up to 150,000 homes. Andrew Shepherd was among the residents at the meeting at Wyndham Memorial Hall and says he's in favour of the wind farm.
I think it's going to be great. I hope it all goes ahead, and they might give us all free power, do you think, when they kick it into gear?
The Southland wind farm project will refine its plans and have more public consultation, with the goal of beginning construction in early 2025 and having the wind farm fully operational by mid-2027. Near Gore, the South Today.
3 popular walking track bridges in the Wanaka area have been closed due to safety reasons. The Department of Conservation has decided to close the Blue Pools, Rob Roy and Makarora bridges for safety upgrades. The area is popular with visitors, with up to 550 tourists crossing the bridge each day in peak season. The Rob Roy Bridge is the only access to the Rob Roy Glacier track, but requires urgent safety upgrades alongside the Blue Pools Bridge. Meanwhile, DOC says the Makarora Bridge has reached the end of its operational life and needs a major upgrade. The three bridges will be closed from today through until the summer season while work is carried out. Well, Waka Kotahi hopes to get consent for plans to improve the traffic flow along State Highway 6 through Frankton and into Queenstown. Multiple roundabouts will be converted into traffic lights, assisting with the goal of more consistent public transport.
The New Zealand Up Road Plan may have the green light, with plans to revamp the major intersections along State Highway 6 in Frankton. Waka Kotahi have big goals upgrading the roundabouts on Frankton Road, Hawthorne Drive and Stalker Road into traffic light systems, with the main focus on the intersection next to the BP petrol station. The Frankton bus interchange will also be getting an upgrade, doubling the size of the public transport hotspot. NZTA Principal Transport Planner Tony Sizemore says the goal of this project is to create more consistent public transport, hoping to encourage people to switch to buses and reducing traffic build-up on pinch points along the Queenstown commute. Sizemore believes the project will take no longer than 5 years to complete and hopes to get into gear early 2024, depending on the outcome of next month's consent hearing. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Well, one of the last remaining DVD rental stores in the South Island is closing its doors, the victim of changing times. United Video in Invercargill has seen a number of changes over the years, but is getting ready to fade to black.
All movies must go. That's the call as Southland's only remaining DVD store plays out its final scenes. It'll be the end of an era for this kind of home entertainment in Invercargill. United Video announcing its closure this week. One of the last DVD stores left in the country. Owners Daryl and Kim Blackler have many fond memories of the store, having been renting and selling DVDs here for almost 40 years.
A lot of these movies we've been collecting, and we are sort of devoted to that collection as well. And now that we're having to close the doors and sell out off our wee babies, so to speak, it's sad.
Blackler admits the lack of demand for DVDs is due to the rise of video streaming services, alongside online gaming and social media. All of that leaves people with no shortage of access to entertainment. The couple have broadened their market a few times to try and survive. The store also stocks vinyl records, collectible game cards, comic books and other items. But ultimately the DVD business couldn't sustain itself. Blackler agrees it's sad, but accepts it's just another step in the evolution of movies.
When we first opened up in DVD, that was a technological change, you know, VHS. And we probably had an effect on other ones that were in the entertainment business at that time.
The United Video rental chain boasted 100 stores across the country at its peak. Over the next month, the Invercargill store is inviting customers to get their hands on some great movie deals, including rare films that can't be found elsewhere. Blackler estimates they have around 80,000 DVDs to sell before shutting up shop, but insists it's the people they'll miss the most.
It's that community base that we've developed over the years that puts the sadness in us, because a lot of the ones that come in here regularly every week, we aren't going to be able to look after anymore, and that comes with a bit of heartache, to be honest.
Although there's no fixed closing date yet, the couple plan to continue selling off the collection over the next few weeks before the credits roll for the last time. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Whai Akine, still to come on the South Today. A big crowd's expected tonight at Forsyth Bar Stadium for the final home game of Highlanders star Aaron Smith. And a few hundred school children hit the Ashburton Showgrounds for a Ripper rugby tournament.
Drive away your way with 3 incredible offers on the Honda CR-V Adventure Ready range. Choose from 2.9% finance with 0 deposit, third finance, or lease a new CR-V from just $136 per week. These offers are only available for a limited time, so be in quick. From Honda.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Price chop! My mate John's in full attack mode. He's chopped prices on beds and bedroom furniture. Lounge, dining and occasional have taken a beating. There's 40, 50, even 60% off clearance items. Buy now and pay nothing till November. Price chop! Only at John's Furniture Warehouse, Stafford Street.
Furniture from Stafford Street. And my mate John.
Aero, used by Australia's top bowlers with their unique Z-scoop grip that redefines the game. Machined with robotics for unparalleled accuracy, Aero, same line, every time.
Here at Age Concern Otago, we offer a range of services to support Otago seniors to age well with dignity and independence. We provide social work support, visiting service, health promotion and social activities. Check out what we have on offer at ageconcernotago.com.
Welcome back. Well, it's the end of an era for the Highlanders as they say goodbye to one of their stars. Aaron Smith will play his final Super Rugby Pacific game on home soil tonight, rounding off more than a decade with the franchise.
Aaron Smith taking some of his last steps in Forsyth Bar Stadium, in the blue, gold and maroon. It's a bittersweet time for the Highlanders halfback as he nears the end of his Super Rugby Pacific career, playing his last game at his home stadium this weekend. He's played for the Southern Super Rugby team since 2011, bringing in a record-breaking 184 caps for the Highlanders.
We were serious, we were having fun, we worked really hard, but it didn't feel like we were working. Everything was like a competition to do fitness.
Smith is also gearing up for his final Rugby World Cup, finishing up his time in New Zealand before kicking off his new contract with Japan side Toyota Verblitz club next year. It's been a tough year for the veteran, losing his father to cancer, one of the tougher fixtures throughout his career.
I was quite hard on myself as a player and I was quite lucky to have some good coaches as well. So Mum and Dad were really pretty much just fans and just loved their son and supported me and were always there.
But the legendary halfback will keep fond memories of Dunedin, with hundreds of supporters gathering at Meridian Mall on Wednesday to celebrate his lengthy career.
I've enjoyed my ride and I've met some great people and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Like, I love Dunedin and I've loved what they've given me as a man and supported me through thick and thin.
His family are making the move to Japan by his side, with plans to relocate to the North Island within a few years. Smith will run on for his final home game at Forsyth Bar Stadium tonight, playing the Reds in the penultimate round of the Super Rugby Pacific competition, with some special celebrations expected. In Dunedin, the South today.
And let's hope they get a win for him. Well, school children have been ripping up the field in Ashburton as part of a Mid-Canterbury Ripper Rugby tournament.
10 Mid-Canterbury schools took to the field to show off their rugby skills for the qualifying round of the Subway Cup Ripper Rugby tournament. The tournament was played at the Ashburton Showgrounds, featuring 17 teams made up of Year 5 to 6 pupils. The teams were mixed boys and girls who played 7-a-side games for 7 minutes each half, with refereeing duties being carried out by the first 15 girls team.
So 170 kids, they're all 5'6". There has to be 3 girls on field at a time, so there's a great range of them.
Teams competed in 3 pools, with the top teams in each pool due to compete in the Ripper Rugby finals in Ashburton next month, against North Otago and South Canterbury. In Ashburton, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. National leader Christopher Luxon has started a nationwide tour in Queenstown, campaigning to get New Zealand back on track. Contact Energy details plans to construct a new wind farm in Wyndham, Southland. It's set to become the country's largest. And United Video prepares to fade to black in Invercargill as the last remaining DVD rental store in the lower South Island. Now taking a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we welcome the editor Barry Stewart. Welcome, Barry.
Hello, Dave. A sex offender will be allowed to use dating apps while on home detention. Now that decision has upset the family of the victim.
You can understand why.
Exactly, and of course we can't forget Aaron Smith, can we? So last game tonight, as mentioned throughout the week, certainly been a week of Aaron Smith. So we'll be there tonight to see what happens, and you can pick up the highlights in the paper tomorrow.
He deserves a good farewell.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it'll be hopefully a memorable occasion.
Yes.
So looking at the second part of our university series, looking at their finances, and there's more revelations there about the state of play. The university is borrowing more than it should, according to its chief financial officer. So another part of that series, and it's quite revealing reading.
A good investigation.
Have a look at that, yeah, and of course we have mix and lots of other good fare in the paper tomorrow.
Keep you busy in the weekend.
Indeed.
Thanks, Barry.
Okay, thank you.
Now time for a look at tomorrow's weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Starting with the situation, and a fine weekend ahead with mild norwesterly airflow blowing over the region. Heading to the top of the South Island, and fresh northerlies and cloudy in Nelson with 18 degrees. Those northerlies will be moderate in Greymouth with showers and 16. Christchurch looking for high cloud and 19. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, moderate norwesterlies for this area with high cloud. Ashburton heading for 19, 18 for Timaru and 17 in Ormeru. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, and fine and moderate northerlies across the board here. 18 degrees for Wanaka and Queenstown. Alexandra one better on 19. Heading further south, Balclutha and Gore can expect fine weather with moderate norwesterlies and 16 degrees. It's moderate nor'easterlies in the Catlins and 16. Down to the deep south, showers clearing tonight in Invercargill. Mostly fine tomorrow with sunny periods, some cloud and moderate to fresh breezy westerly winds, a low of 11, a high of 14. And for Sunday, warmer norwesterly winds will increase. Sunny periods at first, but cloud increasing later in the day and a high of 16 degrees. And finally, heading to Dunedin, fine tonight with northerly winds decreasing. Mostly fine tomorrow with broken cloud and some sunny periods. Moderate norwesterlies in the morning. Nor'easterlies develop during the afternoon for a high of 16 and a low of 8. High cloud and mild temperatures on Sunday with moderate nor'easterlies, heading though for a high of 19 degrees. And that's the news this Friday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. You can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We're also on Facebook. Just search for the South Today NZ to see our favourite stories from around the regions. We'll see you again next week. Mā te wā.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.